What's happening? Yeah, it's the mayor of Magaville, baby. Hey, you know who we voting for? We voting Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voted Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Red pill poppin', swerving in the trunk. Republican 4G, Antifa knows what's up. Red, white, and blue, mega nation, throw it up. Black, white, and brown, all that I'm Trump. Democrat party gon' take your freedom. Indicting our president cause they can't beat it. It's a two-tier justice system. Put America first, we the big. FJB, FJB. FJB, 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 FJB. Let's go, Brandon, sing it with me. We voting Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voted Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Now I pledge allegiance to vote for Trump. There's a red wave coming, you gon' surf for what? And God I trust to take the devil away. Lock Joe Biden up and throw the key away. Your propaganda ain't gonna work on me. Bidenomics is like you working for free. I demand reparations from every idiot that voted for Joe Biden, boy, period. Period, Sleepy Joe is a fraud. And the bloodbath in the Oval Office. The media is the enemy of the people. The Democrats and the fake news always cheat. FJB, 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 FJB. Let's go, Brandon, sing it with me. We voted Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voted Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Black Donald Trump. Black Donald. Trump Latinos. Trump Latino. Forgiato Blue. Make America great again. We about to turn Las Vegas into Mar-a-Lago. We about to turn Las Vegas into the White House. Yeah, we is. Hey, Trump Latinos. Trump Latinos. Blacks for Trump. Let's go, my nigga. No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. And we're about 34. Cause I'm rapping 47. Democrats losing their mind. Cause we going for a felon. Now look what you done started. Trying to indict my president. Now look what you done started. Bring them both, he's still going win. Now look what you done started. If he's in the cell, we'll write him in. Now look what you done started. Donald Trump's my president. So Trump got 3 baby mamas and my shot, 34 felonies. Does that make him the first black president? Let's ask the streets. Like hell nah, let him out the cell, y'all. Y'all voting for the pedal, I'm voting for the outlaw. Let's get so build back better. Never seen anyone with that hat on. You know it's Pride Month, got my red, white, and blue on. Now the Stormy Daniels get to keep the hush money, even though she didn't hush up. Didn't Bill Clinton get Monica Lewinsky cash to shut the fuck up? They don't want Trump, they want all of us. Rig the system right in front on the bus. Better than I'm straight fucking us. Wake Sleepy Joe the fuck up. I'd rather vote for a nigga with 34 felonies than one that shot with his daughter. Letting Wheezy weed, the next DP. Keep the Trump train rolling.
No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. Ain't worried about 34, cause I'm repping 47. Democrats losing their mind, cause we going for a felon. Now look what you done started.
Trying to indict my president.
Now look what you done started.
Greg them both, he still gon' win.
Now look what you done started.
If he's in the cell, we'll write him in.
Now look what you done started.
Donald Trump's my president. Not BLM is in the building. You know Biden loves minors. Name one thing Biden's done for y'all, but set this country on fire. Then lied to us black people. Pushing propaganda saying Trump is evil. Say George Floyd's a legend. Nah, Donald Trump is my felon.
It's time to hold DC accountable for what they did to our country. Stand up and fight. Fight for your right. You gotta stand up and fight for your right. America's fed up. It's time to do what's right. Vote wrong. No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. No justice, no peace. It's a MAGA party. Ain't worried about 34, cause I'm repping 47. Democrats losing their mind, cause we going for a felon. Now look what you done started.
Trying to indict my president.
Now look what you done started.
Greg them both, he still gon' win.
Now look what you done started.
If he's in the cell, we'll write him in.
Now look what you done started.
Donald Trump's my president.
If it ain't official DanaJay, Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it.
I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all, oh my Lord. Didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it all? Didn't it all? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain?
You can't run from it. You can't deny it. You can't pass it off. It's your call. God knew what he was doing. He knew who he was calling, and he expertly and intricately detailed every aspect of your life, your being, your persona, your psyche, your physicality, everything about you, from the texture of your hair to the color of your eyes to the way that you laugh to the fingerprint on your thumb. Everything is connected to your calling. And until you walk into the fullness of the thing that you were created for, you will find yourself frustrated. You're called.
This is a manufactured criminal case.
Ridiculous charges.
What happened today was offensive to the Constitution.
They've never articulated the crime here.
Awaken the sleeping giant.
What the radical left Democrats are counting on is your silence and your submission.
No one's going to stop us. No one's going to slow us down.
And the only way for us to fight back successfully is to elect Donald Trump in November.
When President Trump came out and said the real verdict will be on November 5th, he couldn't be more right.
Don't get mad, get motivated.
We will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah, let's go. We ain't playing with them. Let's get it. We ain't playing with them today.
And on the bed, yeah, 100 racks, sons. I ain't shit. Count sticks.
Y'all know what time it is. I don't know why they want to play with it. I just had to play my boy for a minute. I know they're going to try to say something about it.
So yeah. Shout out to everybody that's here. The best team in the land ain't none other but the Dream Team, baby. Why? Because can't nobody bring it like we do it. You know, Peter Piper, pick up, pan. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can drop it like we do. So with that being said, before I get into the Trump stuff, right? I gotta get into the YSL Judge Glanville update. Now, I'm quite sure pages are buzzing right now. Oh my God, this. And yes, I got to be more consistent to make sure the followers are there. But if you really bang with me, you will be there regardless. So I know some people like, oh no, it ain't nothing new that drop. It ain't nothing new that drop. Well, yes, it is. And like I say, most people are just going to sit and watch or read. No. We're going to break this down because we about to have a parade up on Cleveland real quick. So with that being said, we're going to jump into this Judge Glanville real quick. In the Superior Court of Fulton County, state of Georgia, then you have the state of Georgia versus Diamante Kendrick, Jeffrey Williams Jr., Caleb Adams, Rhodalus Ryan, Shannon Stillwell, Quamarius Nichols, Marquavius Huey. Case number 22SC 183572. So before I go any further, I'm going to say this. If you want to donate to the channel, if you like the content and you want to donate to the channel, it's free. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? Let's get these subscriptions up. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, there's a little box at the bottom with a $sign in it. It's called the super chat. You go ahead and hit the super chat, and you can donate anything from $1 up to $4,000. Nothing too great, nothing too small. Whatever you donate, Dana J, appreciate it all. So I'm tripping. I'm tripping because also if you want to support Dana J, which I split with my channel, or if you want to send me lunch money, and I appreciate the folks that have been sending me lunch money, whatever, you can go ahead and hit the Cash App at $OfficialDanaJay at gmail.com. That's $OfficialDanaJay at gmail.com. Or if you got Cash App, if you got ZELLE, I got all them joints. So I'm just saying, if you want to look out for your boy, you can look out for your boy. I appreciate it. Instead of y'all donating to all the scammers, y'all can donate to something on good ground. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real, because there's a lot of scammers on the internet, and I don't know, man. I don't know, because the scammers make it bad because they try to run networks. It's just me, myself, and I. So let's jump into it. Order on motions to recuse Judge Glanville. This case is before the court to consider various motions to recuse, including defendant Diamante Kendrick's motion to recuse Chief Judge Earl Glanville, filed on June 12, 2024. Kendrick docket 247. Number 2, Kayla Bumpus' motion to quash the show cause order and or to recuse Judge Glanville, Adams docket 171. And number 3, defendant Jeffrey Williams' motion to disqualify, recuse Judge Glanville from all further dealings in the above reference case and amended supplement, Williams docket 587 and 611. The specific facts necessary to determine these recusal motions are well documented in affidavits, court filings, certified transcripts, and video recordings available on YouTube. Having considered the record evidence and applicable case law, the court finds as follows. Footnotes. This court previously considered and denied defendant Kendrick's motion to disqualify Fulton County Superior Court Judge judges from ruling on recusal motion, Kendrick Doctrine 260. And the portion of defendant Williams' amended supplement that sought this court's recusal, Williams docket 612. Findings of fact. These recusal motions arise out of a multi-defendant prosecution brought by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, alleging gang activity and associated crimes, Kendrick docket number 4. Although there were 28 defendants named in this indictment, only 6 were being tried as of June the 7th, 2024. The motions to recuse all arise from the same circumstances related to state's witness Kenneth Copeland. On June the 7th, 2024, the state intended to call Kenneth Copeland to testify. Prior to his testimony, counsel for Mr. Copeland, Jonathan Milnick, appeared. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Jonathan Milnick appeared and indicated in open court that Mr. Copeland did not wish to testify and intended to invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Judge Glanville brought Mr. Copeland into court and discussed with him the effect of an immunity order Judge Glanville had entered that granted immunity to Mr. Copeland. Let's stop there for a second. It says Judge Glanville brought Mr. Copeland, because we're going to break this down. Judge Glanville brought Mr. Copeland into court and discussed with him the effect of immunity order Judge Glanville had entered that granted immunity to Mr. Copeland. No, Mr. Glanville did not bring him in to discuss. They brought him in to threaten him. Let's get it correct. Right terminology need to be put there. We ain't saving nobody. They brought him in to threaten him. Then it says Judge Glanville specifically advised Mr. Copeland. No, he did not specifically advise. He specifically told or dictated to Mr. Copeland that if he invoked the Fifth Amendment and refused to testify, the state will ask for Mr. Copeland to be held in contempt and jailed. Judge Glanville also advised that if asked, Judge Glanville would jail Mr. Copeland for refusing to testify. After that question, Mr. Copeland spoke to his attorney and then indicated that he would testify. Once called, Mr. Copeland was asked to specify his age, and instead of answering, he stated, "I pled the Fifth." Judge Glanville excused the jury and then advised Mr. Copeland in open court. Hold on. Footnotes: Caleb Adams' case was severed, and though he is not currently on trial, his case was transferred to this court because Caleb Bumpur's motion to recuse Judge Glanville in association with the show cause and contempt issue was filed in Mr. Adams' portion of the docket. Oh my God. Woo! So that means Caleb might be getting off along with everybody else. Even though his case was severed, it was still transferred back because of Kayla. Smart move. They playing Chinese chess while Fanny team, while Gorilla Grip Fanny team, Cash Money G team is playing checkers. So then advised Mr. Copeland in open court that he was in contempt and ordered him jailed until Monday, June 10th, 2024, which I believe that was his daughter's birthday weekend. At which time Judge Glanville told Mr. Copeland they would revisit Mr. Copeland's willingness to testify. Mr. Melnick spoke to Mr. Copeland and then reiterated to the court that Mr. Copeland still intended to invoke his Fifth Amendment right if he was called as a witness. Judge Glanville indicated he would revisit the issue with Mr. Copeland on Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. and court was adjourned for the day. On June 10th, 2024 at approximately 9:10 a.m., Judge Glanville met with counsel for the state, Adrian Love, and stand-in counsel for Mr. Copeland, Caleb Bumpkins. Watch this. That is not all that was in there. See how they try to diminish just to try to make it look good some kind of way? No. Tell the truth. Don't save Glanville, because Glanville ain't saving nobody else. So tell the truth. It was 14 people in there, not just Adrian Love or Mr. Copeland and Caleb Bumpkins and the judge. No, 14 people. 14 people. The meeting took place in Judge Glanville's chambers. Counsel for the trial defendants did not participate in the meeting and were not aware that the meeting was taking place. The transcript reflects that Miss Love told Judge Glanville that she wanted the meeting to both impress upon Mr. Copeland the risk of refusing to testify and allow Mr. Copeland to ask questions. Hold on. I got to put my phone on do not disturb. Hold on. Oof. To ask questions before he testified. Ms. Love also expressed concerns to Judge Glanville about Mr. Copeland's representation. Ms. Bumpus, Ms. Love, and Judge Glanville also discussed the scope and effect of the state's grant of immunity to Mr. Copeland. This is about to get deep. Mr. Copeland was then brought to Judge Glanville chambers, where he spoke with and asked questions of Ms. Bumpus, Judge Glanville, and Simone Hilton. Simone Hilton is the lady, but I got the vaginal problem, the one they say stink. Now, if people can smell you and you're not that close up on them, I know you smell yourself. Footnotes. 2 investigators from the DA's office and multiple deputies were also present, as well as 1 or more members of Judge Glanville's staff, including his court reporter who took down the conference. The certified transcript was filed into record on July the 1st, 2024. Counsel for the state, who had joined the meeting. During that time, the state advised Mr. Copeland that he could remain in custody until the conclusion of the trials of all defendants in the case, not just the 6 currently on trial. Judge Glanville discussed OCGA 245507 with Mr. Copeland and his rights and responsibilities after a grant of immunity. Mr. Copeland spoke privately with his standing counsel, Ms. Kayla Bumpus, and then advised the court that he would testify. After the meeting, and immediately before Mr. Copeland was brought out to testify, defendant Williams' lawyer, Brian Steele, advised the court that he was aware of the in-chambers meeting that morning. Mr. Steele objected to the ex parte meeting, and a lengthy colloquy occurred between Mr. Steele and Judge Glanville, in which Judge Glanville inquired how Mr. Steele became aware of the chambers meeting. Mr. Steele declined to reveal the source of his information, and Judge Glanville held him in contempt. Though Mr. Steele was allowed to remain in the courtroom on behalf of his client, defendant Williams, ultimately Kenneth Copeland did testify on June 10th, 2024, and was later released from custody. The next day, Judge Glanville issued a show cause order requiring someone present at the ex parte meeting to appear and show cause as to why they should not be held in contempt for disclosing information about the ex parte meeting to defense counsel. That's Kendra Docket 245, excuse me. An amended show cause order was later entered, setting July the 1st, 2024, for an in-camera review of the transcript of the ex parte meeting. The first motion to recuse filed by Diamante Kendrick on June 12th, 2024. That's Kendrick Docket 247. Mr. Kendrick's motion seeks to recuse Judge Glanville for his involvement in the allegedly improper and coercive ex parte meeting with the state. And remember, I told y'all, if anybody is coercing with any sworn in people or witnesses, then they cannot be on a case as a party in charge, right? And remember, I told y'all that. Now watch this. Let's go to the R. Kelly case. When they coerce Roshona, and none of the judges, or should I say the one in Chicago, overlooked that. Now, if the appellate judge in Chicago looked at R. Kelly's case and seen that, and as it was pointed out, and overlooked it, now when they go to Supreme Court, that judge can lose her job. That's why Glanville is being held for his actions now, because if this was to go to the Supreme Court, that judge that looked at this and Glanville both can lose their jobs. I can't say the judge in Chicago going to lose his job because he already lost his life. So it is what it is. So on June 14th, 2024, Judge Glanville denied the motion. Judge Glanville determined the recusal motion was timely, supported by an affidavit, and on a cursory review. Contains assertions of fact to support the allegations of bias and partiality. However, Judge Glanville ultimately determined that because there was no way to verify, because Judge Glanville determined that there was no way to verify the veracity of the information contained in the affidavit, and there was no actual evidence of the extent of the discussion during the in-chambers meeting, the affidavit was legally insufficient, and the motion to recuse did not require referral to another judge for consideration. What does this mean, people? This means that the whole affidavit or the whole discussion was not put in the paperwork, nor was it allowed to be put out there by nobody else. But I'm just saying, maybe if I sit back and if I understand that Kayla Bumpus is from Atlanta, right? And if Kayla Bumpus went to school with Woody, that means she from one of the zones, right? That means if she went into a meeting with them, she ain't say Holly nothing. That means somebody had their phone recording without anybody knowing. Good shit, Kayla. Because if anybody other than Kayla or somebody from the office wouldn't have had their phone running, oops, I'm sorry. Did I just say that? Well, allegedly, if somebody ain't have another recording running, nobody would have really known the truth. See, these are the facts that people don't know. And when people going to look at this, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to go ask Kayla. Ain't nobody going to tell you the truth on no live. She'll be a fool to come out and say, oh, yeah, I did this. Or the certain person that work in the office will be a fool and be like, oh, yeah, I did this just for backup, just in case. See, the way I just put it, you don't know who recorded. I just threw the name out there because as I read it, I looked at who was talking and who wasn't talking. And when you do this thing called research, you find certain things like that stick out. Who doing all the talking and who don't talk? Who had a reason to cover themselves by not talking? See, Glanville got cocky. And when Glanville got cocky, this is what happens. Your gods get let down. Now, Woody couldn't have a phone or a device, but everybody else can. Because everybody else lawyers. Everybody else work directly in the court. This is what I mean when I say you can't get you can't get too comfortable working with the enemy. And Glanville was definitely Fanny homeboy. So on June the 14th, 2024, Caleb Bumpus then filed a motion to quash the show cause order and or to recuse Judge Glanville from presiding over any contempt action against Ms. Bumpus resulting from alleged disclosure of the ex parte meeting. On June the 17th, 2024, Jeffrey Williams filed his motion to recuse Judge Glanville. Williams docket 587. Divorced from its hyperbole, Mr. Williams' motion and supplement also seek to recuse Judge Glanville because of his involvement in an ex parte meeting, which Mr. Williams also alleges was what? Improper and coercive. I'm just trying to say, good God Almighty. Oh my God. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, this is really crazy. Then it says Mr. Williams' motion, but the footnote says technically Mr. Steele's counsel moved to recuse Judge Glanville from further handling of the contempt action during the June 10th proceedings. However, that motion was made orally, and it is not before this court because Mr. Steele's contempt matter is currently pending before what? The Supreme Court. What I tell y'all, when that Supreme Court get involved, heads roll. Because when they get involved, they got the power to take you off of that stand. Williams doc is 614. Although referred to this court for consideration, Bumpus' motion to recuse is both premature and moot because Ms. Bumpus has not yet been held in contempt. And because of July the 1st, Judge Glanville canceled the show cause hearing. Guess what? This is what you got to understand. Another reason why Glanville canceled the show cause hearing is because he didn't want the full transcript to come out, not the redacted one, because if he would have held Kayla in contempt, her lawyer, which we see was Mr. Adams, and I love the way they cover each other, Mr. Adams would have asked for the full unredacted transcript and video. Now here's the thing. Nobody talked about videos, right? But all judges' chambers, ever since the Brian Nichols case, all judges' chambers and courtrooms are audio and video 24 hours a day. I'm giving you something that can't nobody else give you because they don't know. Only a certain people know that. Every courtroom and every judge's chambers is audio and videoed 24 hours a day. Once you walk into that bank called the court, you are under surveillance. That's why they was able to say, oh, we know what the lawyers and the clients talked about, standing outside in the hallway. You on 24-hour surveillance. Then it says alleges both actual bias and the appearance of bias because Judge Glanville allegedly participated in the accusatory process when he met with Mr. Copeland, and Judge Glanville became embroiled in a controversy when he held Mr. Williams' lawyer, Brian Steele, in contempt. Y'all remember I said that was his biggest mistake? Because when you listen, you can't hold a lawyer in contempt that got the backing of the whole state of Georgia. You can't do that because then you're going to have lawyers that you never knew work with each other show up. Prime example, when do the bar administration ever come to court for anybody? I'll wait. Have anybody seen the bar administration come to court for somebody? But when he held Brian Steele into contempt, you seen the bar administration and Moore and others sit in the courtroom and stand outside. And then Judge Glanville didn't even want the bar administrator in there. At that point, I got to say one thing. One or two things going to happen with Glanville. Either he's going to be demoted to state court, or he's going to retire, or he's going to move to another district. One of the three. Because he can't go up. But they either going to put him in state court or juvenile court. He's either going to be moving to another jurisdiction, or he's going to be taken off of the bench. So I've never seen the state bar. I've never seen the bar association pull up for nobody. Nobody. So when you got that type of power to make a phone call, and right now you got the hottest lawyer in the state that's representing you, and my homie Ashley Merchant, you can't lose. So on July the 1st, 2024, the day appointed for the parties to review a redacted, keyword, redacted. Remember I told y'all when I was reading that, everything was redacted because it didn't sound right. Now y'all see it right there. But once again, they'll tell you, Dana don't know what he's talking about. Dana be lying. He don't know what he's talking about. He be making up stuff to get people to come watch him. No, everything I say is right there. To review a redacted transcript of the ex parte meeting, Judge Glanville announced that he was releasing the entirety of the transcript of the ex parte meeting and was taking judicial notice. Hold on. How do you release the entirety of the transcript when it's heavily redacted? Make it make sense. And it says, and making a record and regarding certain matters associated with the ex parte meeting, which means he was taking notes of who was reacting to the ex parte meeting so he can spin the block and make their life a living hell. His whole goal, he was going to send Caleb Bumpers to jail. He was going to send Brian Steele to jail. And if it wasn't for the cameras in there, it would have been worse. Lexington said he had the whole law firm. Man, listen. When I seen 26 people come inside the courtroom and another 35 standing outside against the wall, I said, "Oh Lord, this ain't gonna be good." So most of what Judge Glanville relayed was a collation of record evidence about the recent circumstances in the case. Judge Glanville also explained how he became aware of the state's request for an ex parte meeting. So hold on. They filed for an ex parte meeting under seal. They filed for one under seal. And Glanville acting like he just heard about it or he just know about it. Glanville, stop, man. I'm starting to wonder. And I don't want to tamper into that side, but that earring on the right side, bro, just that one earring, is a certain community that only wears that. And I'm gonna leave that right there. In addressing the circumstances of the contempt against Mr. Steele, Judge Glanville explained the court's purpose and concern of pursuing information about the security and confidentiality of his chambers. Judge I told y'all everything is secure. Judge Glanville advised that he had not instigated an investigation into surveillance footage, but had reviewed such footage for timeline and security. Hold on. How in the world can a judge not instigate an investigation for surveillance, but have a surveillance footage on his tape? On his desk the next day. Judah, you say a Mason, right? I say it's a little deeper than that. It's them letters. And I ain't talking FBI or CIA neither. Judge Glanville then explained his view that the ex parte meeting was proper under Georgia law. Oh no. And outlined relevant law that supported his inherent authority to hold such a meeting. Judge Glanville maintained that no one gained a tactical advantage as a result of the ex parte nature of the meeting. Judge Glanville also questioned defendants' right to be present at the ex parte meeting because the issue under discussion was between the state and a witness who was represented by counsel. After making this record, Judge Glanville announced that the show cause hearing was canceled and that the recusal motions filed by Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Williams, and Ms. Bumpers were being referred for consideration by another judge in accordance with Uniform Superior Court Rule 25-1 through 25-7. The motions to recuse were then assigned to this court for consideration. Legal framework. Motions to recuse are governed by a specific legal framework outlined in Rule 25. Hold on. Golly, on my phone jumping. As a party seeking recusal must file a timely motion supported by an affidavit clearly stating the facts and reasons for the belief that bias or prejudice exists. USCR 251-252. The affidavit must be definite and specific to describe circumstances of extrajudicial conduct or statements which demonstrate either bias in favor of any adverse party or prejudice toward the moving party in particular, or a systematic pattern of prejudicial conduct toward persons similarly situated to the moving party, which would influence the judge and impede or prevent impartially in that action. USCR 25-2. Bare conclusions and opinions are not legally sufficient to support the motion or warrant further proceedings. Once such a motion is filed, it is the duty of the assigned judge to temporarily cease to act upon the merits of the matter and assesses the timeline and legal sufficiency of the affidavit and alleged facts. USCR 25-3. If all three criteria are met, i.e., the motion is timely, supported by an affidavit, and the facts alleged might warrant recusal, another judge shall be assigned to hear the motion to recuse. ID. When considering a motion to recuse, the assigned judge should be guided by Rule 2.11 of the revised code of judicial conduct, which provides that judges shall disqualify themselves in any proceeding in which their impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Now, hold on. When Brian Steele brought that up, Glanville told him he didn't know what he was talking about, and that wasn't true. So now it's back to this. So now it shows that Glanville didn't know what he was talking about, and that Brian Steele knew what he was talking about. and case law A&M Hospice LLC versus Alamashande. The standard is objective from the perspective of a reasonably fair-minded and impartial person rather than the affected judge or other interested parties. If a motion to recuse satisfies the 3 threshold criteria, the assigned judge must refer the motion for reassignment and may not oppose the motion. Mondi versus Magnolia case law. The judge whose recusal is sought may not respond to the motion or attempt to refute the allegations, which stand denied automatically. No matter how false or even defamatory the judge might know or perceive the allegations to be. Post versus State case law. A judge cannot become actively involved in presenting evidence or argument against a motion seeking his recusal without that defense itself becoming a basis for recusal. ID at 257, citing Isaacs versus State case law. A judge has no interest in sitting on a particular case. At most, his interest lies in protecting his own reputation. His efforts at defending himself against a motion to recuse will inevitably create an appearance of partiality. Like Brian Steele said, like I said, one reason is that if he defends himself, he becomes an adversary of the movement for recusal. This adversarial posture may create an antipathy which persists after the motion to recuse is denied. And then they use another case law. See also Richard E. Flam, judicial disqualification, recusal and disqualification of judges. A judge who personally refutes a party's allegation of judicial bias may appear to a reasonable person to have exhibited a personal interest in the outcome of the litigation or to have aligned himself with the here analysis and decision and discussion. Here, Judge Glanville had previously announced on the record that the motions were timely and supported by an affidavit. In transferring the cases to another judge for consideration, Judge Glanville necessarily determined that the 3rd criteria was satisfied, i.e., that recusal might be authorized if the facts alleged in the motion were assumed true. So, if the facts in the motion were not true, why would Judge Glanville say the 3rd criteria was satisfied? Second thing, I'm going to ask you this question. How can you have facts in a motion that's not true? When I tell you they speak in legal ease, this is what's going on. Anything that's factual, that's an emotion, is true. So when Glanville was telling everybody, oh, that's not true, that's not true. And we all seen it play out in front of our own face for it to be true. And the question is, if anybody goes in before Judge Glanville moving forward, how can you trust them? That's why I said his only priority now is to move down or transfer jurisdictions or leave the bench, period. So it says, therefore, Judge Glanville was required to refer to motion for reassignment and was prohibited from opposing the motion. It is worth noting that this court agrees generally with Judge Glanville's assessment of the propriety of the ex parte meeting. While the meeting could have and perhaps should have taken place in open court, didn't I say that? I specifically said if he would have did this in open court, couldn't nobody say nothing. But when you want to hide it, you're hiding something. Nothing about the fact of the meeting or the substance discussed was inherently improper. However, in his order denying defendant Kendrick's motion and in the process of making his record on July the 1st, 2024, Judge Glanville added facts, provided context, and questioned the veracity of allegations, and otherwise explained his decisions and actions and argued why those actions were improper. Ooh. So he was so upset, he smashed his own self. While it may be appropriate for the judge to disclose information relevant to his potential recusal, such a disclosure must be made in a way that is as objective, dispassionate, and non-argumentative as possible, so that the judge is not reasonably perceived as a hostile witness or advocate. I told y'all that. That's post 298 Georgia at 257. And presenting his record as to the recusal issues and in ruling in Kendrick's motion, Judge Glanville, party resisting the judge's disqualification, and by attempting to refute a charge of bias, a judge may become or appear to have become an adversary of the party seeking his disqualification. So Judge Glanville evaluated and accepted the truth of his own factual allegations, mandating his recusal. Dennis Byron, where you at? I told you this was going to happen. Just by sitting back, watching and listening, I seen how Glanville got so engulfed with himself, he thought he couldn't be touched. A&M hospice case law. This court has no doubt that Judge Glanville can and would continue presiding fairly over this matter if the recusal motions were denied. But the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighs in favor of excusing Judge Glanville from further handling this case. Based on the foregoing, this court hereby orders as follows. Defendant Diamante Kendrick's motion to recuse Chief Judge Earl Glanville is granted. Kayla Bumpus' motion to quash the show cause order and or to recuse Judge Glanville is denied as moot. Defendant Jeffrey Williams' motion to disqualify, recuse Judge Glanville from all further dealings in the above reference case as amended and supplemented is granted. The clerk of court shall reassign this case using the court's case assignment procedures. Hold on, but before you go anywhere, I'm about to tell you something. Young Thug's case has been assigned to Judge Shakira L. Ingram, which is a dog. She don't play no games, and she's fair in some points. The problem is I feel some kind of way. And I'm gonna leave that there. I feel some kind of way. I really feel some kind of way. And the reason why I feel some kind of way is because the court failed to put Glanville's true actions on display like he was trying to do everybody else. Where they feel as though Glanville ain't do no wrong. But because Glanville pretty much destroyed himself, they have no other choice but to go with someone else. However, here's my question. If Judge Glanville is the chief, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the call, I'm gonna go ahead and put the call the call joint in, right? That's the call-in number. I'm gonna go ahead and put the call-in number in there, right? And the reason why I feel the way I feel is this right here. If Glanville is the chief judge down there, right? That means it don't go no higher than him in that courtroom or in that court building. That means everybody still report to him. That means his hand is still on this case. So my question is, why couldn't that just be thrown out as a mistrial and let it go? Because now I'm starting to wonder if they doing all this so they can get the feds in place. And I heard somebody say before, oh no, I didn't hear nobody say it, but I watched them say before, oh, the feds ain't gonna get into this because this is messy. Well, if you know about the feds, this is what they like. They and the feds like the mess stuff. Because what the state can't get, the feds can. Because the feds have unlimited resources. So let's make this make sense. As most people jump around and holler, oh yeah, we won. The question is, did we really win? That's my question. Did we really win? And the call-in number is up there. So if you want to call in, call in. I'm going to leave a little bit of time for this because I'm going into Trump now. And y'all know when I get in Trump mode, nothing stops. So while everybody's sitting around doing one thing, I'm looking at something else. I'm looking at the next direction that they're going to try to come from. And I'm sad to say this, it's going to be us to take us down. So if anybody want to call in, call in. If not, I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep this Trump train. I'm gonna keep this Trump train rolling. I'm already upset because I'm an hour and 51 minutes past time, but I started 3 hours late. I started 3 hours late. Y'all know what the day is. So since nobody want to call in, I'm gonna go ahead and take it down. Consider this being part one to they tried to unalive Trump. And it clearly say this live is coming from a different place. So I'm gonna say this. When it happened, I was asleep on Saturday. I was asleep because I was preparing for the fight Saturday night. So I wanted to take a nap. And the first person that called me was Atmos. And Atmos Love was highly upset. And he said, yo, they tried to unalive Trump, yo. I said, what? Yo, but they tried to unalive Trump. Man, get off my phone. You playing. And I'm just thinking, like, who's dumb enough to do that? So then some Dream Team members, Miss Bougie hit me. And she sent me a little message that said, yeah, they just tried to unalive Trump. So I'm pinching myself at this time like, am I living in a twilight zone? Who's crazy enough to do that? And at this time, I was scared to cut on the TV. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I didn't want to hear that. Reason being is because I know the path that God had for Donald Trump. So when I got the video and I seen the way it happened, I said, that's only a grace of God. So I said, even if people doubted or hated Donald Trump, knowing what he was shot with, he's supposed to be gone. Anybody know about bullets? A 225 will send you to see Jesus that very moment. And how ironic is it that he's standing at a 90-degree position, pointed to a Teletron, and the bullet curves after it hits his ear and goes outward instead of going through the trajectory that was supposed to go through, which was to hit the ear and come through the back of the medulla oblongata, as they call it on Money Talks, which means the back of the skull at the soft point right here. So folks was like, Dana, you ain't going live. Trump, your boy, you ain't going live. I said, no. And he was like, why? I said, I'm going live Monday. And he's like, why? I said, I got things to collect. On situations like that, it's cool to be the first to report it. But it's also dumb. Because if I would have went live when they woke me up, I would have been naive to a lot of stuff that came out just an hour after that. And because I work and I'm cool with some of the team for Trump, they would have looked at me like, yo, you don't never report prematurely. So with that being said, I watched some of the craziest stuff happen. So I hear people say it's an inside job. My question is it? Or was it? Was it an inside job? Or was this the hands of Barack Obama? Now, I'm going to go there today. This is the last part of my live. I'm going to go there today. Was this the hand of Barack Obama? Some people going to say, here we go, Dana conspiracy theorist. Really? You should know by now that if I'm calling names, I ain't playing with nobody. Part 2 going to be tomorrow when I read the dismissal of Trump classified documents case. And when I say the hands of Barack Obama, this started way before Biden got in office. This started way before Hillary or Killary wanted to run for president. Now, there's some trusted sites that I look at, right? The first one is Wayne Root. If you ain't on Getter, you don't know nothing about it. So it's a front row witness says multiple shooters and others hit. Pray for all of them. But understand this, it's over for Democrats. Trump's defiance will inspire 100 million MAGA Trump warriors to fly U.S. flag and charge the Hill like never before. You can't stop Trump. You can't stop MAGA. Now, hold on. Now, hold on. What you realize is that what they said was front row witnesses says multiple shooters, but they only telling you about one. I want y'all to put that in your meta bank. Toy, I see what you're saying, but I can prove to you that it's not. Donald Trump is God's chosen, whether people like it or not. So, as that happens, you see the Democrats out here posting negative, and I mean very negative comments about it. Oh, that's not true, Dana. Okay. Well, here's one of them. Dr. Karen Pender. Of course, we're going to make her famous. Look what she tweeted. Damn, so close. Too bad. But she's the main doctor that want to get out here and give people the COVID shots and says all unvaxxed need to not be around. But you say, too bad he didn't get hit. Next thing's next. If you ain't on Truth Social, you ain't gonna get it. Colorado State Representative, which is a Democrat. He said the last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are. Ooh. The last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil. But they praised the devil and Joe Biden. So here's what I got to say. To all the liberals who have been calling Trump Hitler for the last 4 years, Trump never censored free speech. You did. Trump never used the media to silence his political opposition. You did. Trump never threatened to take the people's guns. You did. Trump never threatened to put people who disagreed with him politically into re-education camps. You did. With that being said, you might want to take a good look in the mirror of who is inciting things and who's not. Now, when people tell me that's BS, Barack Obama don't have nothing to do with this, you know what I say? Come and get in the water! Because I don't say nothing without facts. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. See, what I love is to show how people do not like to face the truth. This coming from under Barack Obama presidency. And his director was Robert Hennigan. So, Honorable Boris Johnson, MP, Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs, ISA-94, application for renewal of warrant, CSO 142263 to surveil 725 Fifth Avenue, New York, USA, 5th and 26th floors. I wonder who lived on the 5th and 26 floors of 725 Fifth Avenue in New York. Can anybody take a guess who had suites on 5th and 26 floors? So it says, 1, on August 28th, 2016, GCHQ CSO filed for permission to execute Project Folsom at the request of the U.S. what president? Can somebody tell me who was the president of the United States in 2016? to be exact, November the 17th, 2016. Can somebody tell me who was the president at that time? Nah, Toy, don't go nowhere. I'm asking the people in the chat to tell me who was the president of the United States on November the 17th, 2016. That's all. That's all. I got one person that said Trump. I got two people that said Trump. Well, November the 17th, 2016, it wouldn't have been Trump. I need y'all to go look at that. Who was president of the U.S. on November 17, 2016? Make this make sense. Make this make sense. If the election was held on November the 8th, 2016, right? And Trump, even though he won the election, he couldn't be sworn in until January the 6th, right? So who was president on November the 17th, 2016? Oh, now you see how it worked. Now you see how it worked. Even though Trump won the presidency, he couldn't be sworn in until January the what? 6th. That means Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, was the president. So they asking for surveillance at the request of the U.S. president, seeking intelligence gathering into Trump Organization and Donald J. Trump for President, Inc., both located at 725 Fifth Avenue, one on the 5th floor, one on the 26th floor, New York, USA. Activities include, hold on. This is why I don't like when, people get out, because we all can learn. Activities include foreign and U.S. domestic signals collections in regards to communications with Russian hostile actors, which came out to be a lie. There was no Russia. So IOCCO approved Folsom on the 15th of September 2016, allowing 90 days of initial signal tapping gathering with the potential renewal should the situation allow. This memo's purpose is to request a 90-day renewal of Folsom original charter with further potential for renewal thereafter. Since Folsom's start, a clear pattern of actionable leads have occurred, both from the Trump campaign itself and from former M15 agent Michael Steele, and from others. See figure 1 through 7 attachment. U.S. National Security Advisor Rice, Carmelita Rice, has requested that we continue our surveillance during the transitional period, as internal U.S. intelligence is potentially compromised by the incoming Trump administration. For these reasons, we are requesting that Folsom's charter be renewed for another 90 days. Sincerely, Robert Hennigan. So when people say Trump was making up stuff, wasn't nobody spying on him, here you go right here. Well, pork rinds, that's your right, brother or sister. Whatever you are, whoever you are, that's your right. You can love Joe Biden all you want. That's your right. However, I guess people won't be saying this BS no more. However, Joe Biden made a clear-cut dumb move. Now watch this. Trump been spying on people for years. No, that's not true. There's no documents that prove that. And I understand people do not like Donald Trump. They hate that guy. Why? I don't know. So right here it says Biden said we must stand together. This is why I can't. This is why I hate this dude. And I'll go on camera and say it. I hate this dude. And pork rinds don't go nowhere because I'm about to bust your bubble about something too. He gets on a television and say we must stand together, and the same interview, for y'all that don't know, when they stand there and they doing platforms, that's called the battle box. Listen to what he say.
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. Get in the water! But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. But in America.
I got a question. How can you resolve it at the battle box? Not the ballot box. He said the battle box. You got to listen. He said the battle box, not the ballot box. And the battle box is when it's the podium, actually. But I'm going to ask this question. The Democrats want you to forget how Joe Biden and the Democrats set this into play. Tiffany, Project 25 was not by Trump. I think you missed that live. I think Trump wrote like one page of Project 25 and then he aborted it. Go read Agenda 47. Project 25 was hijacked by the Biden campaign and the Democrats. I've proved that as well. So Project 2025 is not Trump. Not at all. Please go read Agenda 47. Nah, I'm not reading that. Even though I got it, Trump supported the first page of it. And if you look at my lives on my political page, you'll see it. So less than 3 months ago, members of the Committee on Homeland Security in Congress tried passing the disgraced former Protectees Act in an effort to terminate Secret Service protection from President Trump. Now, some folks might have missed this, but I didn't. Dana didn't. Let's read it. Let's read it. Committee on Homeland Security, HR 8081, the Disgraced Former Protectees Act, or the Denying Infinite Security and Government Resources Allocated Towards Convicted and Extremely Dishonorable Former Protectees Act fact sheet. The United States government has long recognized the need to protect presidents, former presidents, other high-level officials, and select family members of those officials from harm. Since 1901, the protective mission has been fulfilled by the U.S. Secret Service. Periodically, Congress has reformed the Secret Service's protective mission, often in response to exigent circumstances. For example, protection was expanded to major party presidential nominees following the assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy. In 1968, former President Donald J. Trump's unprecedented 91. Wait. Following the assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1968, former President Donald J. Trump's unprecedented 91 felony charges in federal and state courts across the country have created a new exigency that Congress must address to ensure Secret Service protection does not interfere with the criminal judicial process and the administration of justice. The Disgraced Former Protectees Act would terminate Secret Service protection for individuals who otherwise qualify for it upon sentencing following conviction for a federal or state felony. Under current law, Secret Service protection is authorized for some current and former high-level officials and their immediate families. Current law does not contemplate how such protection would occur or whether it should occur. If a protectee is sentenced to prison following conviction for a felony, as a result, current law may serve as an impediment to the equal administration of justice and present logistical difficulties for both the Secret Service and prison authorities at the federal and state levels. I'm going to skip down. And it says this measure would apply to former President Trump. It also would apply to all Secret Service protectees convicted and sentenced under felony charges. Now watch this. We just watched one of Donald Trump's cases be thrown out. We just watched that. And like I said, this is just part one. Trump called me the N-word. He consistently throw dog whistles and to white folks about black votes. He said, we don't want them in our neighborhood. He was found guilty of discriminating against blacks. Pork Ron, show me some paperwork. Send it to my email. bookdanajay@gmail.com. Because right now I'm calling you Cap. Just like people sat back talking about some, oh, Donald Trump is racist. Well, Donald Trump ain't say nothing that nobody else ain't say. So tomorrow we're going to do part 2. Trump is very disrespectful to women. No, he not. I know that for a fact. No, he not. Ooh, Tiffany, you've been misinformed. I must talk about this, though. I must talk about this real quick. And while I'm live, I'm going to say this. And I'm going to keep it a book. I must talk about this real quick. Wait a minute. Hold on. What just happened? Nah, I got to... Hold on. DL. I must go here. I'll talk about this real quick before I go. Because I hate when you have these superficial black people Now I'm gonna call you black because for real, you ain't nothing but a nigga to me, man. I hate DL Hughley because he tried to push narratives that's not true. Now, he's saying GOP pushes diversity with speaker lineup at tonight's Republican National Convention. So then he says, so DEI is cool with MAGA, RNC, which is the Republican National Convention, as long as they use it to get black votes. Sorry to use Bill Weathers like that, but it definitely fits. Team DL. Well, DL Hughley, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. And I'm sorry to say it that way. But I got to really go here because it's ignorant people like him. And because he have a limelight to know, or because he got a limelight and to shed light on certain things, and because of his comedy and stuff, it's like he want to try to venture into stuff he know nothing about. So I'm gonna crush him and Revolt real quick. At the end of the day, Revolt News is for the colored community, right? But the problem that Revolt have is that Revolt and DL Hughley are like some of these people on the internet. They suffer from Trump syndrome because they don't like Trump, but they feel as though Trump shouldn't. Surround himself around colored people. But guess what? Everybody you see on this flyer knows the truth. From Amber Rose all the way around. So at the end of the day, I'm going to make this known. DL Hughley is a coon. He's a ham bone. And because we are in the same arts field, I'm going to go on record. I will never do a video or movie with the likes of a coon like DL Hughley. DL Hughley support anything anti-American. So my thing is he need to take his non-funny coon tail back where he come from. And this is what I mean. When I say people give these coons platform, stop giving these coons platforms. He remind me of a modern day nigger. And what is a nigger? Anybody that tried to create division, anybody that creates a different view that will make their self look stupid. That's what a nigger is. Also, a nigger is a person that'll take whips for everybody else. And one thing I can say, for the Biden people, I see you November the 5th. This is going to be a MAGA wave. Clean sweep. Clean sweep. Now I'm looking at Pork Rind say, who votes for a man who encouraged a riot on January the 6th? Show me where Trump encouraged a riot at. Show me. Hey, Pork Rinds, check this out. I don't like arguing, right? But I would love to have a debate with you with nothing but facts on January the 6th in 2020. Because truth to be told, Donald Trump won that by a landslide in 2020. Donald Trump is the only one talking unity. Biden talking about separation. Make this make sense, pork rinds. I would love to debate you. I would love to debate you. Set it up. Let's go. Breaking news. Donald Trump picks J.D. Vance, Ohio Senator. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like J.D. Vance. Not for VP. I was hoping he was going to pick what is her name? I was hoping he was going to pick what is her name out of Arizona? I wanted either the one out of Arizona or the one out of Iowa. Pork rinds, I don't need to ask around about you, brother. I just want to listen whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. Listen. That's her name, Carrie Lake. Yeah. I was hoping he was going to pick either Carrie Lake or the one out of Arizona. Or the one out of Iowa. Hey, pork rinds. I accept that challenge any day. But this concludes part one of they really tried to unalive D Trump. Tomorrow we're gonna do part two. And then Wednesday, but no, tomorrow we're gonna do all of part two. We're gonna do all of part two. I'm thinking. Am I doing Church Boy Chronicles tonight? I'm thinking, see, I gotta make a pimp decision real quick. Hey, whenever you ready, brother. I just don't want to make a flyer and look foolish. Because we can set it up like a presidential debate. So yeah, like I say, D.L. Hughley is a coon. Very much a coon. And tomorrow in part two, just to give you a little bit of what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to talk about how BlackRock is really funding this whole situation and the things that BlackRock did. Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson, crazy. So shout out to JD Vance. Oh man, you got me like, oh man, I wish I could have went. Oh, but I got other stuff I got to do. Shout out to everybody that's at the Republican National Convention right now. Y'all holding it down up in Milwaukee. Oh man. Shout out to my boy Harrison Floyd. That's up there holding it down. That's my brother from another mother. Wait a minute. What is this? J13 will go down history. Oh, okay. Okay, I know what it is. But look, I got to get up out of here, man. And I'm going to go as far as say this. YouTube, and the reason why I'm not on my political page is because YouTube took down one of my posts and gave me a community guides violation. Because they said that I shouldn't be posting about the shooting of Donald Trump. You can't censor me. Because when you try, I'm streaming on multiple platforms, YouTube. And when this drive, I'm always somewhere else. But until it drop, I'm going to spread knowledge. I'm going to spread truth. I'm going to spread wealth. Now, like I say, I'm not scared of the government. And tomorrow, I'm going to show how Biden, once again, I already showed you about how Biden and them was talking about taking the president's immunity and all that. But I'm going to show you how Joe Biden, DOJ, just fired the man that unalive, the perpetrator that tried to unalive Trump. Let's keep it going. And remember, you don't got to worry about nothing. Keep God first. That's all you need. On that note, DanaJay about. Y'all have a good day. See y'all tomorrow. But check out the slides I'm about to drop to you. Peace. Let's go. Hold on. Let's go.
For you. A senior Secret Service source familiar with the planning of yesterday's event tells NBC News that the roof where the shooter was located was a well-known, high-priority vulnerability. It was identified just the day before during a security walkthrough. We've also just learned that there were 2 counter-sniper teams on site and that the counter-sniper did not need approval to shoot. One source telling NBC News that prior protocols were not followed. The FBI now says the alleged shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, appears to have acted alone. This all provides new context for the shocking scene last night in Butler, Pennsylvania, already burned into our collective consciousness.
You are stronger than what you have been through. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk about you. Their opinions are not facts. I need you to keep applying pressure, stay committed to yourself, and keep being authentic, no matter what they say or do. Don't you dare doubt your value. Don't you dare doubt your worth. Keep shining like you do and stay locked in with God. God do not create a lock without his key. And God do not create a problem without a solution. Listen to me. You are stronger than what you have been through.
Down these civilized people, they'll eat each other. When the chips.
This president deserves the support of the Black community because he's earned it.
There is a silent majority of us that see you, see what you're doing, see what you did for HBCU schools. That was actually the deal for us.
I wager to say that there is no American president since Lincoln that has had the impact for Black America that President Trump has had.
Joe Biden supported the crime bill in '94.
He has imprisoned Black America, basically.
Trump supported the NAACP and Black youth like myself in '87.
He's a businessman. He's bringing businesses back into America.
Bringing jobs back to America. Bringing the truth back, and he's stopping needless wars.
My day is going to be amazing. I'm never going to forget this day. This day is historic.
In 2016, I made you a solemn pledge. I would be your greatest champion. In the first 3 years, we achieved the lowest Black unemployment rate in history. We achieved the largest job gains for African Americans on record. The poverty rate for African Americans reached the lowest level ever recorded. I did more for the Black community in 47 months than Joe Biden did in 47 years.
We cannot deny that that man has done everything that he has set out to do in record-breaking time. Can we say 3 years? Can we say 3 years?
We will create 3 million new jobs for the Black community, open 500,000 new Black-owned businesses, bring even greater fairness to the justice system. We did criminal justice reform.
I want to thank President Donald John Trump.
Create a ladder of opportunity for African American children by delivering school choice to every parent in America. Together we made unbelievable progress and achieved once unimaginable success. And with your support, your vote, and your voice, the best is yet to come.
You can expect us to come out in droves in your support. For absolute certain. That's a certainty.
This president deserves.
Hey, hey. Mega is the gang and I'm banging my set now. Someone told the hood, me and YG friends now. Can't even blame you. Hate me cause the fake news. Evil looks good and good evil, it's a shame to go with the Hoovers, go with the Bloods. Even Rolling Crips and Crenshaw show me love. Ask Chief Keef, Oak Block, rock with Trupp. Michael Bunn was in the 305 cable line. Took a trip to the hood and asked them a question. They said they don't feel Joe Biden represent them. Want to take away our guns, but I keep the burner. PPP on me, you can call me Stimmy Turner. Biden crime family, Joe loses sanity. The left is running radically, incoherent, rambling. Two for Trump, gay for Trump, black for Trump naturally. Latinos and Asians, every nationality. Wap, 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 wap. Trump mess him up. Wap, 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 wap. Biden is a god. Trump the done, and I got my ear to the street. Shut up, OD7 Quantity, sleepy, holler Chef G. This man is a creep. I thought I would remind Jay, sniffing women's hair. Oh wait, she's a minor. They not like Trump. 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 They not like Trump.
What's up, y'all? Out here enjoying beautiful, sunny Florida. Got a brand new t-shirt. Make sure y'all support me at onlyforthefans.com. Love my country, not my government. I know a lot of y'all can relate. Also, every single purchase comes with a why Joe Biden is the greatest president of all time. As you can see, there's some riveting information on each page. You can troll your friends, your family members, and every single t-shirt purchase comes with a book. So make sure you go and grab yourself one, onlyforthefans.com. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Hey, hey. Mega is the gang and I'm banging my set now. Hey, hey. Mega is the gang and I'm banging my set now.
What you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass down, gotta make it last now. Girl, I'm so, and I'ma beat it up.